What's going on? It's been a while since I filmed a YouTube video like this. 2 light bulbs are out, my room is kind of a mess. In the past, I wouldn't film a video like this because I'd say it needs to be perfect. And although I respect putting focus and respect into my space and when I shoot a video and doing things with positive intention, there still is an element of going with the flow and being free. So currently in this season of my life, I feel like I can be more authentic. I could speak more freely, and it's a beautiful thing, and I hope you can do that in your own way as well. So in this video, I've been taking notes on many themes that I think are interesting that have been helping me, that I think can help you in your own way. So instead of doing a video on one specific theme, I'm just gonna summarize it and go over a lot of themes. So this is gonna be the July points with Michael. Michael's July talk to help you about in your life. Okay, yeah, we're gonna say that, July points. So the first one, whenever you level up physically, say you go to the gym, you exercise for a long time and you start to get more physically fit, you feel better, right? You eat better, you feel better. There comes a point where in order to cause transformation, you need to go through some pain, and to go through the pain, it's not just a physical workout, it's a mental workout. It gets to a point in training for athletes where it's not just physical, strong. To get to the next level, it's all mental. It's all coming from here and here. And I think everything is related. Your physical, spiritual, and mental. It's a ripple effect. For example, I started boxing 2 years ago. I've registered over 120 hours and I feel great right now. It hasn't always been like this. I've been ups and downs through my mental and spiritual health the last couple of years. But I really think when I put focused intention effort in training, it also influences me to eat a little bit better. Once I'm more mindful about my training, then I'm more mindful about what I put into my body, then we're more mindful about who I spend my time with. It's all energy. It's all energy. Who we spend our time with, what we decide to do, but there's a ripple effect, right? And when we're training hard for anything, to get to that next level, to reach that transformation like a butterfly, we have to push ourselves. We have to go through that pain. We have to face it head on. We don't run away from it. That's how you get stronger. And you can really understand it from a logical point of view, because if you train in the gym, you do bicep curls a lot, your arm gets stronger. The same thing with your mind, the same thing with your heart. So when you level up physically, it comes to a point where it's not about the physical anymore, it's more about the mental, it's more about your heart. Point number 2, respect. Respect is so important, and to do things with integrity and intention. I'll give you an example. If I invite you to my house, in a lot of Asian cultures, they expect you as the guest to take off your shoes, and as the guest, it's a sign of respect because you're not bringing in dirt and germs from the outside world into somebody else's house. At the same token, if you come over to my house, I'd be like, oh, would you like some water? Would you like some coffee? Would you like something to drink? This is me being respectful as a host to you. If you come into the restaurant that I work at, I say, hello, how are you? I'm showing you respect, reciprocating energy. If I do something for you, I'm not saying that you have to give me something back, but it's that balanced give and take. I'm not expecting that you give me something back, but it's that balanced give or take. I pay for your dinner today. You say, okay, next time I'll pay for you. Those are the people that I want to hang out with. I want to go hang out with the people that fight to pay for who's going to pay for the bill. That's respect. Another layer deeper, when I went to Sedona, Arizona, which is a renowned spiritual place, if you believe that, I did a shamanic nature tour with a guide, and we went to a special sacred place. Before we stepped on the land, like we parked the car, we got out of the car. Before we stepped on the land, we kind of did a little prayer and we gave thanks and gratitude to the land. And the guide had a drum, and we hit the drum and we said thank you to the north. We hit the drum, we said thank you to the east, the west, and the south. So we spent 5 minutes just giving thanks to the land and the animals and all the people, just nature. We just gave thanks to nature because we're stepping on nature, and we forget that all the time. Like, nature gives us food, plants and animals, they give us food, but we forget, we give to take, and we don't offer anything in return, but we're always taking. So that was a special day because we gave thanks before we stepped on the land, and then we went a little 15-minute hike. We made up to the top. We just sat there, we were meditating, and then all these animals started coming out, like hawks, butterflies, birds, it was a beautiful experience. A lot of the native people, the aboriginals, they had this understanding, this awareness to respect the land, respect Gaia, respect nature. And this is coming from someone that used to just go from concrete building to concrete building and not like nature and that. But yeah, I've evolved. Now I enjoy nature and I have a newfound appreciation for it because it gave life to me. So I need to respect it. And we talk about energy too. You put your energy in activities or with people. Your job, you place your energy with. So we need to be mindful of respecting ourselves and deciding where to focus our time, which is our energy. If you're going out working all day, you don't have energy for yourself. If you're going out working all day, you don't have energy for your significant other. If you're going out energy all day, you don't have time for your friends. So it's a balancing act every time. Respect and energy. I'm just talking about energy all the time. Choosing up, man. Next thing that I want to talk about, relationships. Now back to that equal give and take. I believe that a relationship, however you define it, we need to be aware of life, not just in relationships, not to be too extreme, not to be balanced, not to be overly one-sided, not to be over here. We need to be in the middle. And sometimes it's going to go like this, okay? It's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 80-20, but you bring each other back up. And that's the same thing with life. Like, as much as I'd like to maintain a routine and habits, sometimes I can't. And it goes back to my boxing training. Like, sometimes I was really good, but I had periods where I stopped training for a month because I got sick and like life happened. But I got myself back up here, and now I was here and I went and now I'm up here again, okay? There's a narrative right now about relationships between men and women, and my opinion is that we're forgetting the beauty of a union between a man and a woman and how they bring complementary energies together, like the yin and yang. Men and women both have masculine and feminine energies, but I believe as a man it's you feel a duty to protect and provide in a way, and as a woman you want to nurture, you want to support. That's not to say that a woman cannot protect and provide or a man cannot nurture and support. We most certainly can, because we have both energies, but the culmination together, instead of it being 50-50 separately, it's on a whole nother level, right? 1 + 1 = 2. 2 is greater than 1. So I think we need to honor the union of a man and woman, and not to say that women can't find jobs. I want women to have the opportunities that they want, but also understand that in a relationship where both parties, the man and the woman, are both supportive of each other and want to promote each other and be partners, buddies, not influencing them on their path, but walking side by side, and their partner has their path and helping each other. For example, people say like, oh, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. When you're sick and you're lying down in bed, you want someone to take care of you, right? You want someone to help you in those moments when you need. So in life, those moments happen so often, and it doesn't make you any less of a man or a woman or however you identify if you need some help at that time. You're sick, you're on your bed, you need some help. So it's nice to have somebody there to support you, to help you up, to pick you up, to keep you going in the battle. People are attacking you left and right on the field, but then your partner's coming like, I'm coming, and they're gonna come protect you too. So I just think there's value in the union of a man and woman, and we need to show respect for that, honor that, the union, and not getting into relationships based on our ego or based on superficial things or based on short-term temptations, okay? Part of being a human is about experiencing pleasures and desires, but experiencing pleasures and desires with someone that is connected to your soul, that you love not just from a physical standpoint, but you love deeply from the heart. That is true connection. So we should be striving for that, not striving to get the most attractive person or to be with X amount of people. That's all, in a way, just senseless relationships. It's only on the surface level. We need to go a little bit deeper. That's my opinion. Taking a note, I just thought of something else. Okay, I'll go back to that point, but as a man too, I'm not saying that all men have to be like this, but I believe that as a man, it's my responsibility to protect and provide in a way. So if I have a family, I want to provide for my wife. That doesn't mean that she can't find her own job. That doesn't mean that she can't do her own things, but I want to protect her, as well as my children. When I have a child, and part of that is financially. It's also physically. If someone tries to rob my house, I'm not gonna let that happen. And also spiritually and emotionally. Like, I want to have an open channel with my partner and my children so they feel safe and heard and not misunderstood. That's the most important thing. You could be there for someone, provide a house, provide food for someone, but not be there for someone emotionally. It's important to have both. Okay, so that's next topic. What I just thought about, if you talk about manifestation work, a lot of people after some time, and I was like this too, it's like, oh, what I've been manifesting is not working. But it goes a little bit deeper than that, because if I have subconscious blocks that tell me, oh, Michael, you're not good enough, or you can't have this, or you can't have this job or whatever, then every time I try to manifest something or repeat, like, I will have a great job, I have a great job, I have a great job, I have a great job, it's being counteracted by my subconscious thought of how I view myself. So I have to really go deeper and heal myself. And how I heal myself is spending time alone, doing the shadow work, facing my dark side, sitting with that anger, sitting with that fear, sitting with those lower vibrational thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because for so long we don't want to sit with these feelings. Instead, we try to distract ourselves with something that feels good and suppress these emotions and feelings, like, oh, go away, I don't need you, I don't need you. But these feelings always build up over time, and if we don't address them, if we don't sit with them, if we don't heal from them, we could be triggered out of nowhere just by life as we go forward, because these never go away. So it's so important to do the shadow work and honor the darker aspects of ourselves and the aspects of ourselves that we suppress for so long, because once we can heal these subconscious thoughts, feelings, and emotions from past trauma, we don't let the outside world trigger us anymore. We can move smoothly and go with the flow like a dragon. So me personally, right now with the boxing training, I really can release a lot of my frustration and anger doing the boxing. It's a good release for me. It's amazing relief for me. It makes me want to train to the next level. So I think I want to train with a boxing trainer. Who knows, maybe one day I'll even do a boxing match. I don't know yet, but I have been thinking about that. But it's not so much for my ego, it's more for myself, for me to sit with my demons, sit with my negativity, sit with my low vibrational thoughts, my anger, my fear, my jealousy, my pain, my sorrow, and my love, and channel it in a very specific way where I'm not hurting anyone. Like, I don't let these darker thoughts move through my body and experience them. Then they can manifest in other ways, like drinking too much, pornography, drugs. Instead, I'm focusing on boxing as a way to release and transmute these thoughts. So the fact that I want to be in a boxing match, in the past, I was like, oh, that is brutal, that is not good, that's going to lower my vibration. But in a way, I am the yin and yang. I am the light and dark. So it's how I channel my negativity, it's how I channel my shadow side. My shadow is always with me, but for so long I've never honored my shadow. I never honored who I was. So the shadow aspect is very important, and I think until we embrace, until we accept it, we'll always be, in a way, suppressing and numbing our true self, or there'll always be more that voice in the back of the head. So me wanting to fight in a boxing match is not facing my opponent, it's facing myself. And going back to the physicality training, it's showing myself that I can push myself and I can face fear head on, because fear is something that stops us in our track. I can face my own fears and fight and release and channel that anger, my pain, in a positive way. And my opponent, we in a way made a spiritual contract to fight one another, but we're really fighting ourselves. But I don't know yet. We'll see if I do that. It's just thoughts that have been on my mind in July. And manifestation work too. Like, you got to do the healing, but also the past, present, and future. We're all we can jump timelines all the time, like the past, present, future, just with our thoughts and minds, right? Like you can think of a memory right now from your past and be transported to your past. You can also go into the future. For example, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about if you feel sexually aroused by someone, if you start thinking about someone, okay, no kids watching this, you can feel that in your body, right? Like the thought of a sexual experience with someone or your partner, you feel that in your body in the present moment, and it's in the future. So it's crazy, and you can't deny that. It's true, Mamma Mia, it's true, okay? So that's the past, present, future. Next theme, roots. So it's important to have a solid foundation. Anything that wasn't built on a solid foundation is destined to fall. That could be relationships, that could be a job, that could be a business. Anything is destined to fall. And the roots, if you look at a tree, it stands strong during the seasons, during the winter, during the wind, during the rain. It stands strong. In the winter, the leaves drop. It goes through the changes. It's still there. It still stays strong. It's rooted in the ground. It's grounded. Root chakra. But underneath the ground, we don't see the roots. We don't see how strong they are. I was taking a walk the other day and I saw a tree. It lifted up the sidewalk, the concrete. It was like this. So I was like, damn, the roots of the tree are so strong. But we don't see that, but I just saw that. So basically, you don't know where you're going unless you know who you are. And if you're grounded in who you are and you're rooted in who you are, you can move forward. Strong roots. I also recently discovered a Taoist principle talking about Jing, Qi, and Shen. I don't know if the tone is right, but Jing is our soul, okay? According to Taoist principles, I've been reading a little bit about religions. Jing is our soul, Qi is our energy, and Shen is source or spirit. So those three facets define our life, and I think it's a beautiful way to describe our life. All these books and all these forms of spirituality and religion, they all talk about similar concepts in different ways. Like, get this book, get this book, get this book. Michael says this, another person says this. We all say pretty much the same thing. You just gotta take the information and see if it resonates with you and find your own truth with all this information. But the Jing, Qi, and Shen is a beautiful way to think about our lives and our purpose here. There was an example relating Jing, Qi, and Shen to a candle, and I'll read this to you. Jing is the wax or the wick of the candle. So that's the soul. Qi is the flame, compared to the energy activity of the candle, which through burning life makes the candle burn. Shen is the light. So Shen is the source, or God, we'll say. Shen is the light, the radiation that emanates from the burning candle. So that's just beautiful. I was sitting with that for like 2 days, Jing, Qi, Shen. This is how it resonates with me. That might not resonate with you, but essentially, these concepts are in a lot of religions and a lot of spiritual texts, so it's just about finding what makes sense for you. It's juice time. Okay, almost done. As we move forward in our life and become more centered with our Jing, Qi, and Shen, our soul, energy, and source, all those three things working together, we develop a greater awareness of where we place our energy. I'm tying everything together. Where we place our energy and showing respect in how we spend our energy. And then you can see things from a newer perspective, from a higher perspective. And you can see that the movies, the books, the shows that you watch them again and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe there's so many themes in the show, because now that you have a newfound awareness, you can have new experiences. It's just like going to the same place with a new person. You went there before, and then you go there with a new person, and it feels new again. Or if you're dating someone, like say you go to this restaurant with this person, and then you're dating someone new, and then it's like, oh, it's I've been there before, but it's different this time. It's different every time because the energy is different. Mamma mia. In the past, I used to think about myself from a racial perspective, and not really understanding myself and not really fitting in. Oh, I'm not like this. Oh, I'm not like this. And what I realized in my journey is that my own insecurity, my own fear was replaying in my mind, it wasn't so much how people viewed me, it was more just me feeling insecure because I was different, and me polarizing myself because I was different and I wanted to be like everybody else. I wanted to fit in instead of stand out. But now I realize that standing out and being my true authentic self is so much more in line with my soul, my essence, my Jing, and Shen. And when you think about things from a higher perspective, not just from a racial perspective, not just from a political perspective, not just from a religious perspective, these concepts that give us guidance on how we live our life and our colors in our human existence, but they don't necessarily define us, and we can't be trapped in them too much of an extreme and just be slaves to the existence. Have a higher perspective. I'm from another planet. Maybe I am, I'm an alien, like you are too. Have a higher perspective and not just be so focused on race, because at the end of the day, race or whatever, at the end of the day, we all bleed red. At the end of the day, we're all humans, and you're different for a reason, so learn how to embrace it instead of think you're crazy or you don't fit in. And you know what? When you're different, when you go against the grain, people will call you crazy. People will call you out because being different is hard. People want you to be part of the crowd. So I commend you for being different and standing in your truth, showing your integrity, being rooted in who you are, okay, being different. You don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself. And that's part of being soul aligned and being conscious of our energy and where we put it in this life. Last thing, or two more things. Love, back to relationships and stuff, love is so powerful. How I said before, the past, present, future, we can all jump back and forth, and every relationship that you've had with someone, every experience, the energy is still there. It hasn't died, right? Those good experiences, those not so good experiences, they're still there energetically, and we could tap into them at any moment. And if you look back in your relationships, you can feel how special they were and how much joys, and even if they had difficult moments, they sparked growth in you, or they gave you the opportunity to see growth in yourself that you could never have sparked probably as easily if you didn't meet that person. Energy never dies, and love is truly an amazing force that is not always sunshines and rainbows. It's not always like, oh, it feels so good. There is heartbreak, there is hurt, but from that heartbreak and hurt, you can evolve to that next level of who you are as a human, as a soul, as a purpose, and that's beautiful. And you can see the lessons and see the beauty in the shadow. I'm just tying everything into this video if you get the connection. So like all these themes, it's all connected to what I'm saying right now. And last point, when you're tapping into your intuition and listening to your heart, listening to yourself, listening to your soul, and manifesting, spirit, God, or source, or your higher self is like a GPS, right? So they'll show you and they'll tell you what you need to say or what you need to do in this particular moment. But they won't necessarily give you the whole map right away because it'd be too confusing. They'll just say like, turn left. You turn left and like, you gotta work at this stage of your life right now before you can turn right. Okay, this is what I realized in my own journey. Keep following your heart and be in that present moment. And then when you get guidance from source, get guidance from your higher self, get guidance from your intuition, take the call, take the lead, and turn left and then turn right. Don't worry so much about the extremes of doing everything right or having expectations too much into the future or having grief and regret for things that happened in the past. Of course, yes, we should feel a little bit of expectation and a little bit of grief all the time, but we can't be extreme because we have to be centered. So I hope you enjoyed this long video of me ranting about a lot of stuff. I filmed it horizontally right now. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you everyone for the new people following me on this journey. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you want to, okay? Wish you well. Peace, love, and light. July update. Let me know if you want to see these videos again. If you actually watched the whole thing, leave a comment below. If you didn't, that's okay. Peace.